This is the process shot. I'm Michael. I'm stuck in a haunted movie theater, and I've seen The Starling, a new comedy drama from Theodore Melfi starring Melissa McCarthy as Lily, a woman who is still dealing with the sudden death of her child. With her husband checked into a mental hospital, she has to parse her grief on her own, starting by cleaning up her home and working on a gardening project. These plans are waylaid a bit by an unexpected presence on the property, a very territorial starling who sees Lily as a threat. As the two fight over the land, Lily comes to find, with the help of a therapist turned veterinarian, that the two may not be so different from each other. Needless to say, the symbolism and analogies are slathered on pretty thick over the course of the movie, so much so that it even calls itself out for it. While the movie may have self-aware moments like this, it generally plays its story straight, with a healthy amount of save the cat energy across its plot structure. That does mean that parts of it can be predictable at times, but it's written out well enough that the parts you can see coming ahead of time aren't a detriment to the overall experience. It helps that the pacing of the story is steady enough to stay active and forward-moving, while also allowing room for the cast to breathe, with their performances being what really carries the film from that rather subpar level to something a bit higher. It's not much higher, but it's an indication of where the film's creative focus and overall attention lies. It also helps that Melissa McCarthy's given a chance to show off her dramatic acting talents, which are a far, far cry from, well, the only other movie with her that I've seen while I've been here. Outside of the story and characters, The Starling is pretty solid otherwise. Cinematography helps to highlight the film's rural settings, keeping most shots wide enough to showcase the more natural landscapes, and giving the film a vibe that's not generally seen in dramas of this vein. The film's soundtrack does lean heavily into giving off this idea, with a few montages set to stripped-back soft folk songs that work, but seem more like they are there to remind you about how the characters are literally feeling at that moment in time. The film's overall tone is very much stripped back in a sense, again seeming as though it's to help highlight the acting talent and the underlying drama within their relationships. Overall, The Starling is pretty middle of the road, held back by the rather weak and formulaic plot and story, but able to at least stand out from other films by way of its cast and visuals, which are able to take what is essentially a quiet story of pain and loss and place it within an equally quiet location, one where that emptiness is emphasized by the lack of busyness and overall symbolizing the isolation one might feel when grieving, and how there will always be someone there to help you and others through the pain, even if there are some difficulties in accepting that help. The Starling, Theodore Melfi, 2021. 3 stars. I'd say to give it a shot if you're in the mood for a modern melodrama. Well, it's not as extreme as a melodrama, but still. That's it for this review. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. I haven't seen any birds since I got here. I kind of miss them. I did find some frozen chicken nuggets once. That was a good lunch.